Hey there. Welcome into a Water Break Wednesday presented by Crown Royal. I'm Drew Dougherty, and I've got my good friend Deepi Sidhu of Houston Texans media fame with me. Deepi, happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. Happy Texans victory Wednesday today, and it's going to be a fun one because you got another chance, a good chance at picking up your second straight win on Sunday against the Jets. We heard from head coach David Culley as well as all three coordinators earlier today, and hot off the presses electronically for you, there's a little bit of news about the Jets quarterback situation, isn't there?
Yeah, I just put up a story, or it should be going up shortly on HoustonTexans.com. The Jets announced that Zach Wilson is going to return off his knee injury. He'll be the starter on Sunday against the Texans. That's good news for them because their backup quarterbacks, Mike White and Joe Flacco, were placed on the reserve COVID list. So if Zach Wilson needed another week or so to rehab his knee or get better, he didn't really have that luxury. They're ready for him to go, but I think he was getting closer. They felt like it was either going to be last week or this week that he'd return. He wasn't on IR. He suffered a hit in week 7, I believe, against the New England Patriots. So he's back. He's going to get his 7th start of the year, and they hope to sort of build on what he was able to do early on in the season. And the Texans defense hopes that they can build on this takeaway train they've got going on. 10 takeaways in the last 2 games, and they've done also pretty well against rookie quarterbacks this year. They have picked up 4 interceptions against the 2 rookies that they faced in Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones.
It's remarkable. I mean, last year they only got 9 takeaways the entire season. You just said they got 10, or we know they've got 10 over the last 2 games, 19 on the whole on the season. And now they're also above water. They're at +2 in turnover differential. And as we've joked about many, many times, that's one of the things I kind of harp on and fixate on. And I send an email every week to you, to John, and to Mark Vandermeer about where the Texans are, how they did in takeaway differential or turnover differential. And they're above water again. They're +2 after being underwater really the bulk of the year. So this is good. And it's another step in the right direction. Need to keep that up because the only times they've won this year is when they've been +3 or more. So +3 week 1 over Jacksonville, +5 last weekend. Got to keep it going. Hey, German Texan is representing. It's a little bit closer to, like 10 o'clock at night over there. Thank you for checking us out, German Texan. And he has this. Do you think Zach Wilson will be the next victim for a turnover festival? And what is Grenard's status? And very, very importantly, shout out to Andre Johnson. Let's address all 3 of those. Yes, I do think he could turn the ball over. The Jets have been lousy as far as turning the ball over. They're worst in the NFL in TO differential. Very worst. They're 32nd in the league. So, yes, absolutely they can do it. Grenard still up in the air. We'll see. And then shout out to Andre Johnson. That's in reference to Andre being named one of the Pro Football Hall of Fame semifinalists. Andre Johnson's a Hall of Famer in my book, and I know you agree.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to see Andre Johnson inducted in that Hall of Fame. He's already been inducted into the Ring of Honor here for the Houston Texans, but we've seen his illustrious career. Not a lot of touchdowns, but a lot of production, no matter who was throwing him the ball, and just a great guy all around, especially out and about in the community. So excited for Andre Johnson, and he's definitely got our votes. One thing on Zach Wilson and the turnovers, he's thrown 9 interceptions this year. So I do think that you're right. This Jets team does turn the ball over a lot. And so hopefully the Texans defense can keep things going. I know the offense wants to get things cleaned up a little bit crisper than they played, even in that win at Tennessee. But, hopefully they can continue doing what the defense is doing. And yeah, John Grenard should be limited in practice this week. We'll get the final report on his status on Friday.
Yeah, Zayad was asking the same thing. Is he going to play? We'll see. Like Deepi just said, Bethany wants to know. Bethany, good to hear from you, by the way. With the monster defensive performance last week, what do you expect this week? Well, I don't know that you can ever go into a game and expect 5 takeaways. That's asking quite a bit. But I do think you can get quite a few because of how turnover prone the Jets have been, who you're playing at quarterback, especially seeing as how he's a rookie coming off of a layoff. So it's ripe, you think. Now, I imagine the Jets are going to do a lot of what the Texans tried to do last week on their side of the offensive ball, limit the exposure to the quarterback, try to run the ball as well as you can. But yes, it's certainly there. It's that possibility of getting more takeaways, DB.
Yeah, certainly. I talked to Desmond King. He was on the Texans player show, and I asked him, I said, do you think it's
Mhm.
sustainable to get 5 takeaways in back-to-back games? Like, are you expecting that again this week? I mean, how do you guys view takeaways? Because I feel like you're kind of setting yourself up when you set your goal that high. And he said, no, he's like, that is the expectation that we're going to get multiple takeaways every single week. That's what Lovie Smith has preached. That's what this defense expects of themselves. So whether or not you and I think that it's sustainable every single week, it doesn't matter. This defense thinks that that's what they're meant to do every single week, is to get that many takeaways. I mean, that's what they plan on doing on Sunday against the Jets, or no matter who they're playing.
Yeah, we heard in August, the minimum goal is 3 per game, and he wants at least 20 strip attempts alone. That's not, going after the ball when it's in the air and getting an interception. He's talking about like when the opposing player has the ball, slapping leather, trying to dislodge the ball. So it's an ethos, it's a way of life, it's what they want and expect. And that's a good point you make, Deepi. They whether or not they hit it, we'll see as far as the goal goes. But they're certainly trying to and try to turn the tide in that way. Daniel has a good one. Who do you think is the most improved player? I think the easy one is Grenard, who we've talked about earlier in the show, and we've talked about many, many times this season. Just to go from where he was last year, didn't get to play too much last year, and then in the limited amount of time he's played this year, he's led the team in sacks, led the team in tackles for loss. But I think you could also go with Kamu Grugier-Hill. He was a great special teamer when he was with the Eagles and then the Dolphins for a little bit, but I don't know that people expected to see what they've seen this year from him defensively. He's been a playmaker. He's been around the ball, and he's done a good job. So I'm going to go with Grenard and Kamu Grugier-Hill. How about you, Deepi?
I'm going to go with the guy that we heard was the most improved from year 1 to year 2 back in training camp, and that'd be Charlie Heck. I mean, he's starting at right tackle, and we don't hear his name a lot, but I think for offensive linemen, that's generally a good thing. If you don't hear their name, that means they're doing their job, and we have not heard anyone say Charlie Heck's name in quite some time. So I think the fact that the Texans drafted him as sort of a swing tackle and, maybe someone to be back there on their depth chart, and now he stepped in as a starter, and very suddenly, because Marcus Cannon went out with the injury, they thought Marcus Cannon would be the starter. And Charlie Heck's been playing. He's probably going to play the whole year because we don't think that Marcus Cannon will return off IR this year. I would say that he's definitely the most improved. I wouldn't, if you'd asked me last year if he was going to be the regular starter every single week at right tackle, I don't know if I would have said that. He did start a few games at the end of last season due to injury and whatnot, but I definitely would have to put him there as my most improved player.
All right, got to wrap things up.
But
before we do, oh yeah, along with Grenard. So we got to wrap things up. But before we do, what's your go-to Thanksgiving side, and what do you just have no use for? Don't want to see it, don't want to touch it, don't want to eat it.
Are you asking me? Am I going first?
Of course, yeah. I'm asking you, Deepi.
Okay. So this is the dish that I like to take because I love it so much and I like it a certain way. I love a sweet potato casserole. I could eat sweet potatoes all year. So I like to have a little crunch on the top with some brown sugar and some chopped up pecans. Or pecans, however you like to say it. That's kind of my favorite. I also like cranberry sauce. Pecan. Okay. I was like, some people say, we don't say it down here. Cranberry sauce, which I like to make. I think if you don't like it, you're not eating it properly. You're eating it out of a can or something. So I would like to sell you on some cranberry sauce. The one that I don't like, which I think may surprise you, Drew, because I do eat pretty healthy, is the green bean casserole. I just don't like green beans cooked that way. I like them crisp. I don't like green beans in the casserole. We could take that right off the list. Let's put in another.
Well, I think you're just not eating the right green bean casserole, because the one I'm eating on a yearly basis is excellent. I'm going to go with, my go-to is mashed potatoes and gravy, and I love that stuff. Also, my mother-in-law makes a really good artichoke heart. It's like a casserole. That's really, really good. She busts that out at Thanksgiving. My mom's mashed potatoes, and then I have no use for sauerkraut, which is kind of an odd one. But my mother's mother, my grandmother, sweet Nanny Ann, she loved sauerkraut. So whenever they came down from Baltimore for Thanksgiving, the house would smell really bad like sauerkraut because, hey, she deserved it. She had 7 kids of her own and cooked all sorts of Thanksgiving dinners and Christmas dinners over there. So we could cook a little sauerkraut and I could go with the smell, but no thanks. So
yeah, sauerkraut. Well, my dad used to love potato salad and coleslaw, and we'd let him do it.
That's right.
Like, it's not a picnic, but go for it. Yeah.
Oh,
I'd probably do it without
I
those.
like that. I like that. All right. Well, we can't wait to see the Texans on Sunday against the Jets. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Deepi. Happy Thanksgiving to Tyler Marcotte and Amanda Caffey for making this happen behind the scenes. And as always, happy Thanksgiving to every single one of you Texans fans that are watching this. We love you. We appreciate you. We wouldn't be here were it not for you. So thank you for supporting your team. And let's get a win on Sunday afternoon against the Jets here inside NRG Stadium. Till then, go Texans.